Hello, and welcome to the Know the News podcast, brought to you by the newsroom of the Northwest Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. I'm Rusty Turner, the editor, and I want to tell you about some of the great stories we have planned to bring you this weekend. First, Alex Golden, our lead reporter on local pandemic issues, takes a look at vaccination rollout for grocery store workers in the region. She'll tell us how local companies are facilitating getting their employees vaccinated. These are the folks who keep our grocery store shelves stocked. Mike Jones, our reporter, will continue his series on a proposed $19 million bond issue in Bentonville, and his Sunday story will focus on the drainage work the city wants to address. And in case you missed it, I want to recommend a story that we published Friday. It seems that earlier in the week, the estate of Theodore Geisel, also known as Dr. Seuss, announced that six of his books would go out of print. That set off a social media firestorm and caused a run on all of Dr. Seuss's titles, both in local bookstores and online. Libraries in Arkansas also found that their Dr. Seuss collections were in great demand, including from non-patrons who were asking if they could buy copies of the six titles. To protect their collections, the librarians have taken steps to keep those books in the library, so you can still read them, you just can't check them out and take them home. It's a busy weekend in sports as the University of Arkansas indoor track and field teams go for national championships at the Tyson Track facility in Fayetteville. Also in Fayetteville, we've been covering the 6A state boys and girls basketball tournaments in which the state's largest high schools challenge each other to see who's best. And of course, we'll keep an eye on the Razorback men's basketball team in the SEC tournament this weekend. Be sure to check in with us Monday to see where the Arkansas men's and women's basketball teams land in the March Madness brackets. Our What's Up entertainment section this week will tell you all about the summer season plans at Branson's Silver Dollar City. Things this summer are sure to be different than last year at the amusement park. All of this content and plenty more is available to our subscribers at our website at nwaonline.com or on our smartphone and tablet app. If you're not a subscriber, just click a button in the upper right-hand corner of our homepage or call us at 479-684-5509. Now I'm going to circle back to our story about Silver Dollar City, and we're going to talk now with our features editor, Becca Martin-Brown. Hi, Becca.
Hi, Rusty. Thanks for having me on your podcast.
Well, it's good to have you. So what can you tell us about what Silver Dollar City has planned this season?
Well, last year didn't turn out quite the way they had expected, clearly.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be their 60th anniversary celebration. The park opened on May 1st, 1960, and they had huge plans. Plus, they had plans to open a new water ride that they invested $23 million in, and it should have been a big deal. And, well, then there was the virus.
Yeah.
So they didn't open until late. They opened in June instead of in March. And Mystic River Falls opened in July instead of when the park opened. And so they're counting this year on all the people who missed things last year getting a chance to come. They're still going to have reduced attendance, but you don't have to have a reservation this year. And there will still be mask requirements and social distancing, and the restaurants have made changes to make sure you're safe there. Speaking of restaurants, there's a new one that goes with Mystic River Falls called Rivertown Smokehouse Barbecue. And when they announced it, I got to go up for the press preview and taste the food. Yes, please. Can you deliver? It's really good. They also have a couple of new events coming up. They open March 17th with Spring Ride Days, and that continues through April 11th with all kinds of music too. And then they have a new thing called the Street Fest from April 17th to May 2nd that's going to include a tasting option where you get a ticket to go taste different things around the park, and that's brand new. And then they'll roll into Bluegrass and Barbecue and the summer concert nights and all the things you expect. Plus, there's other new things going on in Branson. Well, there's not so new. Whitewater, the Hershend Water Park opens May 29th, and the Showboat Branson Vale sails May 28th. So that's coming. But there's also a new aquarium.
Oh, I hadn't heard about that.
The aquarium at the Boardwalk. It was new last year, thus the reason you hadn't heard about it. 250 animal species, a coral reef, touch experiences with stingrays and anemones.
Okay. Oh, very good.
Thank you.
Okay.
There's a new production at Sight and Sound Theater called Jesus that opens this summer. And there's a new 70s music show at the King's Castle Theater called Dancing Queen. I think I'll be there. There's also a new shipwreck museum called Shipwrecked that has treasure from 3 actual shipwrecks, something like 500 artifacts, plus a hurricane simulator and stuff for the kids. And then there's Fritz's Adventure that has indoor zip lines.
Oh, wow.
You will not see me doing that because it looks a lot like Humpty Dumpty on a zip line. And elsewhere, I didn't know about this, and I stole it from our sister paper, the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette in Little Rock. The Y Mountain Daffodil Festival. It's northwest of Little Rock, 7 acres of daffodils.
Oh, wow.
Multiple varieties. Who knew there were multiple varieties? And it lasts through March 21st. You go, it's free. You see the daffodils. If you go the last 2 days, you can pick the daffodils. And you can buy bulbs for $5 a bag the whole time. There's also a new outdoor art piece in Bentonville that I haven't seen yet that I'm really excited about. It's called Guide These My Hands. And it's artist Danielle Hatch and poet Tracy Ray Manes who have put together this fabric and embroidery and steel sculpture. It's in Train Station Park and it'll be up for a year. And it's basically a tribute to the women who hold things together during things like, a pandemic.
Okay, and you mentioned Train Station Park.
In Bentonville.
In Bentonville, okay.
It's on Main Street.
Gotcha.
Oh, and one of my favorite events. It's coming up. Yards and yards of yard sales in Eureka Springs. They're going to have it this spring, April 23rd and 24th. And there's 3 new exhibits at the Momentary. A lot of times I don't understand what they do at the Momentary because I'm old. But there's 3 new exhibits coming up that Jocelyn Murphy will tell you about in the Sunday What's Up that are super cool. And I think they really transcend any age barrier you might feel about the Momentary.
So it sounds like, it's been a year. We celebrated the anniversary of the first anniversary of the first COVID-19 case in Arkansas this week. So it sounds like that now after a year, things are beginning to open back up. There are activities people can go and do safely close by here, right here in Northwest Arkansas.
Oh yeah, there's live theater going on at Arkansas Public Theater in Rogers. There's free atrium concerts at the Walton Arts Center that are socially distanced. Theater Squared is about to, at the end of April, start live theater again instead of streaming theater. It's all coming back, and they're all working really hard to make sure that we're all safe doing it.
There are a lot of events that ended up getting canceled, not happening at all. Things that have been tradition in this area. Things like the Dogwood Festival in Salem Springs.
It's happening this year.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
That's good news.
I am told that it's happening the last weekend of April.
Okay.
And what isn't happening is the White Street Walk in Eureka Springs in May. Don't know if the whole May Festival of the Arts won't happen or not, but White Street has announced that it will not happen. Still going to be some casualties. And I think that the UFO conference in Eureka Springs is happening in April.
Yeah. So are you planning to attend again this year?
I've actually never been.
Oh, really?
I just chase UFOs on my own.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Well, Becca, is there anything else that our listeners might want to know about, things that are going on that they might not know about or might want to take advantage of as things kind of ease up and folks can get out and around?
Well, they might have missed this story last Sunday in What's Up, and I'd like to send them back to it. There's a thing going on at the Momentary that on the surface, again, I rolled my eyes and said, I'm way too old for this. It's called 1,000 Ways. And what they're doing is facilitating a phone conversation between 2 strangers.
Okay.
Sort of like what we do when we do a podcast. We're facilitating a conversation. What you do is you buy a ticket for a particular time. One other person buys a ticket for that particular time. and then the two of you have an hour-long phone conversation.
Wow, that's interesting. And you have no idea who this other person would be.
Have no clue who the other person's going to be. They want you to steer away from, don't spend your hour having a political fight.
Yeah.
And there are some prompts that come with the phone call in case you're sitting there on the phone with your mouth hanging, wondering what you're supposed to say. And then later in the year, they'll have another piece of this where two strangers will sit down for a conversation at a table, like we're doing now, except we're far from strangers.
Yes.
So if you missed that last week, go back and read Jocelyn Murphy's story and see if this is something you might do if you'd kind of like to have a conversation with someone.
Very interesting. This is a time that a lot of conversations weren't taking place because we were all staying at home and staying away from each other. So
when you get happy to talk to the guy who wants to ask you about your car warranty, it's time to have a conversation with someone.
Don't talk to that guy. So, all right. Well, and then, of course, there's still Crystal Bridges, the Amazium, lots of things that we're familiar with that have tried to stay open. The Native American Museum just recently reopened.
The Native American Museum reopens, I think it's April 1st,
Okay.
and they have a piece of an exhibit that's part of the Crystal Bridges exhibit series. So they'll be open in time to actually enjoy that. Crystal Bridges has a new American Crafts exhibit that I haven't seen yet and want to. And the Walton Art Center is about to announce their next season.
Okay.
So
lots happening. All
we
right.
made it through, I think.
All right. Well, good. Well, Becca, thanks for all that information. That there seems to be plenty to do for families and folks around here if they want to try to get out and test the waters out in public.
We're back.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank all of our listeners today for tuning in to Know the News. If you're a subscriber, thank you so much. You do a great deal to support local journalism and what we do in our community, and we appreciate you very much. And as I said, if you're not a subscriber, we'd love to have you join on. Just click that subscribe button on our homepage or call us at 479-684-5509. And don't forget to sign up for newsletters so you don't miss any stories that are important to you. So with that, I will sign off. My name is Rusty Turner. I'm the editor of the Northwest Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, and this was Know the News. Talk to you next week.